An animal charity in Bristol says it's being inundated with abandoned horses that people can no longer afford to keep.
Tonight, representatives from Horse World in Whitchurch are taking their concerns to Westminster, arguing for more help. Fiona Lambden reports.
This is Buddy. When he arrived at Horse World, he was barely alive. Too weak to stand up, needing to be turned every 2 hours because of his sores. But nearly 2 years on, and today we meet a completely transformed animal. Another horse, but the same shocking stories of abuse. 7UP was found abandoned next to a horse-sized hole. His owners had dug his grave before leaving him for dead. Months on, though, he's unrecognisable.
This is the first port of call when the animals arrive at the hospital. This is where the vet sees them, and this place is inundated. A folder full of letters. I've run out of money. Impossible for me to pay. Please, please, can you help me?
And so often the answer is no. 2 winters ago, this charity rescued 25 horses. Last winter, their numbers tripled to 87.
People just can't afford to keep horses today. You know, it's £100 a week, hay, feed, bedding. It just all mounts up and people just can't afford it.
And even though it still costs to keep them, buying one costs nothing. So breeders are abandoning them.
5 years ago, you'd have got about £500 for one of these horses. Today, you'd be lucky to get £5.
And that's how these foals ended up here. Their mothers were pregnant when they were turfed out by their breeders, leaving them and their unborn foals in grave danger.
Well, I've been here for 15 years now, and I would say this is the worst it's ever been in that time. The economic downturn is a major factor to what we're seeing. People aren't buying horses, and yet people are still breeding for the market, a market that's not there anymore.
For these horses, the ending's a happy one. But these few are very much the lucky ones. Fiona Lambden, BBC, Points West in Whitchurch.
Horse World claims this is now a crisis and in the last hour has held talks with the government about the way forward. Jerry Watkins, who you saw in our report, was in those discussions and he joins me now. Thanks for coming into the studio. Just first clarify this, you can buy a horse these days for a £5, less than the cost of a hamster.
Absolutely correct, David. Yes, it's a shocking situation, but it just indicates the market is awash with unwanted horses.
Now, you've been talking to MPs up in Westminster, but is there anything really that can be done at a government level?
Without question. Central government's very important to this. We need to really get this story home to central government and get them to look seriously at changes to legislation that will improve matters enormously. We also feel that Horse World could do with extra support as well from central government, and indeed your viewers as well. We feel there's a great opportunity here for viewers to lobby their MPs. We also feel that for the right people who have got the wherewithal to take on a horse, they might perhaps consider that and take on one of these animals that has been rescued. And finally, they might even think about donating to Horse World via our website.
Times are hard, though, aren't they? Would it be right to spend taxpayers' cash at the moment on more sanctuaries?
No, that's not been requested at all. The sanctuaries that are in existence feel that they can manage as long as they do get some support. And tackling the overbreeding situation would be a great way to assist with this.
So you're talking about a law, is that right?
Yes, a law would be necessary.
OK, I understand. Thanks very much indeed for joining us tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, David.